Welcome to This Week in Morgan County. I'm your host, Russell Mokhiber, and our guest this week is Audrey Morris. Audrey is the director of Starting Points Family Resource Center. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
All right, Starting Points Family Resource Center, what is it?
A family resource center here in the community. The biggest thing, I guess, if nothing else today, that you remember that it's open to all people. It's not, a lot of people think it's for poor people or poverty, but anyone who walks in the door, we strive to help them find the resources that they need.
Okay. What do we know about poverty in Morgan County?
Right now, we are serving about 100 or 350 students through our backpack program, and the school's poverty rate is over 60%. And that's typically what we go by whenever we're looking at the poverty rate.
And what does it mean when you say the school's poverty rate is over 60%?
Those are the students who would qualify for free and reduced lunch. Our school system has free meals for all students, but if they were qualifying, there would be over 60%.
And by qualifying, that means that their parents' income falls below a certain level?
Correct.
And what is that level?
I don't have that.
Okay. Because most people, I mean, when you think of Morgan County, when most people think of Morgan County, they think sort of beautiful place in West Virginia, retirement community for middle class to upper middle class people coming from Baltimore and Washington. They don't see poverty. You do almost every day of your working life. And
correct.
I'm wondering if you think that's true. That's like a tale of two counties.
Almost, yes. We have a lot of volunteers, the people that you were talking about who retired here. A lot of them volunteer in our kitchen, the Mealtime Community Kitchen. So they're seeing it firsthand because they're seeing the people who are coming into the kitchen. The people who are volunteering in the backpack program, they may not see that student who receives that bag, but they see 350 bags going out the door every Thursday.
Right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the program itself.
Okay.
You've mentioned the backpack program.
That's one of the programs that we facilitate.
That's one. And what is the backpack program?
The backpack program sends a Food Lion bag full of food home, non-perishable, every Friday to, like I said, over 350 kids, kindergarten through 12th grade in all of Morgan County schools.
Now, I've heard about it, but I've never seen it in action. Now, one of the things at work here is kids might be ashamed that they're picking up food to take home.
The bags, theoretically, are put into the child's backpack while they're out on the playground or at lunch or someplace else. So it should work that the students who are receiving it are not identified by their peers.
And where does the food come from?
The food is purchased or donated. We do various food drives throughout the year. People make cash donations. Every dollar that is given to us for food goes directly to food. We take no administrative cost off of that. We buy some food through the state food bank, and then we purchase food locally.
Okay. And for example, what would be in a backpack bag?
It would have probably a box of macaroni and cheese, the cans of like ravioli, a can of tuna, cheese or peanut butter crackers, maybe ramen noodles, fruit. We usually don't have fresh vegetables in there, but something that's child friendly but also nutritious. So we have no Pop-Tarts, none of the sugary snack kind of stuff.
Okay. And what impact does this have? Do you hear from families? I mean, because I think most people watching this are going to say, really hungry people among us?
Yes.
And you're saying that, I mean, I think the term I've heard is food insecure.
Yes.
But that's another word, that's sort of like a friendly word for hungry.
Yes.
And most people watching this are going to say, really hungry people among us, amongst all this wealth?
We do, and on the flip side of the backpack program is the Mealtime Community Kitchen, and that's where at our center we served on Friday 178 meals in one day. Those are hot meals that people come in, mostly they come in and get them and carry them out. We don't make them sit there and eat because you may stop on your way home and you may not get meals for yourself, but you know that you have 2 or 3 elderly neighbors or a family that doesn't have a vehicle, so you're picking up meals maybe for yourself, maybe for your family, but maybe also for the other families around you. In 2014, we served over 21,000 meals, hot meals. So in addition to the backpack program where the meals are going home for the weekend, we're also serving hot meals 3 days a week.
Okay, that's 3 days a week, and that's called the Mealtime Community Kitchen.
Yes.
And if people wanted to, partake in those meals, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday
What
from
time?
3:30 to 5:30.
and you can either sit down and eat
Yes.
or pick it up. And where
Correct.
would people go?
At our office, 187 South Green Street.
Okay. And that's a hot meal?
Yes.
What would be the average meal, and who prepares it?
We have a part-time, Ms. Shirley is our part-time coordinator, and she cooks and prepares, but we also have volunteers that come in throughout the day and help her. So there are 17 different volunteer groups, and each group has a specific day each month. So they come in, help serve the meal, and help prepare the meal.
And what's an example of an average meal?
Friday they had chili. Today I'm trying to remember, she was working on salad whenever I was there, but then she kind of had a plan for the meal, and then someone showed up with like 4 gallons of coleslaw that needed to be used.
Right.
So her plan kind of got shifted at about 11:30 this morning to what she was going to be able to make. Now we get a lot of donations, and that was kind of this morning. We had a large amount of green peppers and eggplant. So tomorrow's meal is going to be eggplant lasagna, probably with the salad.
I know that there's a huge issue of food waste in America.
Yes.
I've heard that maybe 1/3 of all food is wasted, either tossed from grocery stores or wasted in the fields. Do you get donations from local supermarkets,
Yes.
from agricultural farmers?
We get donations every Sunday from several of the farmers market vendors.
Okay.
And Food Line has been amazing in the last probably year and a half. We get produce from them. On weekends, we receive food from the bakery. During the week, the bakery items go to the senior center, but on weekends, we get them. So we're getting fresh produce, so we're able to serve a lot more fresh food as far as salads and, like I said, the eggplant and the lasagna and that kind of thing.
On an average day where you're serving a meal, how many people are sitting down and eating, and how many people are picking up?
The majority pick up. There are a few that do come in and sit. I would say maybe 10, maybe less, 5, depending on the day.
And then you're getting more than 100 picking up every time?
No, because people are picking up multiple meals.
Okay.
When I was in there on Friday, there was a woman who came in, and we know that she gets 3 meals. She's one person, but it was Friday, so she picked up 3 meals. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now she'll be back in today to get meals. So there are people like that who are picking up multiple meals for themselves to eat, either for lunch the next day or for other days when we're not serving.
What percentage of people who pick up are regulars that you know?
The majority of them.
Majority are regulars.
Yeah, there's once in a while somebody comes in that we haven't seen before, but for the most part, they're people that we see maybe not every day that we're open, but multiple days during the month.
And there's no question asked.
No
Even,
question.
like you pull up, if you're well off, you can come in and eat,
Yes.
but you don't see that.
No,
People don't, take advantage
No.
of it. They use it if they need it.
correct.
Okay. And if people want to donate food or donate money to your organization, how do they do it? What do they come by and see you?
They can come and drop money off, or they can mail us a check. Starting points, we always say in the memo section, put where you want your money to go, because we have to, auditors, you have to be very
Right.
specific about where you're putting your money. So if you want to send it to the backpack program or to the kitchen, if you just write that in the memo section and mail it, or we're there Monday through Friday so people can stop and drop off things.
All right, and now those are two of the programs. I noticed on your website that there are other programs. You have
Correct.
a whole bunch.
We have a whole bunch.
And let's go through a couple of them.
Okay.
I read one called Cheap Eats. And what is that?
Yeah, Cheap Eats is, a few years ago, we did a community conversation. Actually, we did several around the community. The one in Paw Paw, they said that our kids are hungry. That was the story that they came back with. So we created a program called Cheap Eats, and the meals that are cooked, all of the ingredients are bought from the dollar store. Because in Paw Paw, that's the only place they have to buy food. So if they can't get out of town to go to Cumberland or Winchester, which are both, 40 minutes or more away, then they have to buy their food at the dollar store. So we're using simple recipes with ingredients that we can purchase locally. So one Monday a month, I go to Paw Paw with usually something in a crock pot or something cold, sandwiches or something, and we do an educational thing while we're over there, have a conversation with them, what's going on, what resources can we bring to your community.
Where do you set up in Paw Paw?
At the school.
At Paw Paw
At Paw Paw High School.
High School. And it's Monday, what time is that?
It's usually right around 4:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, and the Monday kind of varies a little bit depending. We kind of, while we're there this month, we'll kind of say, okay, what's your schedules look like next month? And I try to be as accommodating as I can. I have kind of a core group of about 8 ladies that come every month, and so I really work with them to make sure that we can get a schedule that they can work with.
And those 8 ladies are volunteers, or?
No, they are
People
parents.
Parents who participate.
Yes, they're parents, families from the community.
And it's like a lesson teaching people how to cook, or you're actually delivering food to them?
It depends on the day. I always take a meal with me so that we're sitting down together and having a meal. And then we usually have some kind of nutritional, educational program. In the spring, we did a lot with fresh produce, fresh vegetables. So I took over plants, and we actually planted things. And one session was all about herbs. So I took herbs and we planted and we tasted, and what do you cook with them? What do you do with them? So it just depends. I let them kind of choose what they want to do.
Is Paw Paw, the western part of the county, more poor than here?
Yes.
And do you get, for the mealtime community kitchen, do you get people coming from Paw Paw?
Not usually.
Not usually. So if people wanted to partake from Paw Paw and couldn't get here, then they would have to meet you there?
Just for that one day. That's the only meal program. Now, we do take backpacks to Paw Paw, but they do not have a hot meal program in Paw Paw.
Okay. But I'm just wondering, I mean, if there's a greater need over there, if you had more funding, would you set up a similar program there?
We've actually looked at doing something like that, and for different reasons, we've not been able to do that.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at 16 volunteer groups a month, 17 volunteer groups a month, you're looking at over 100 people.
Well, no, what do you mean by
Because,
volunteer groups, 16 volunteer groups a
well,
month?
because we have one coordinator who cooks in the kitchen, but each group, there's a different group that comes in each day. So like today's group is Union Chapel United Methodist Church. They'll have 5 or 6 people who will come in, and they will help cook, and they will serve this evening. Our coordinator goes home. So each day that you are open, there are volunteers who come in to help cook and serve that meal. So we have thought about opening more days here in Berkeley Springs, but then it always comes up with, if you open on Wednesday, you have to have 5 volunteer groups. You need at least 4 people in each group.
Okay.
So going to someplace else to do that and trying to put all of those pieces together, plus the money part of it, is just not something that we've been able to. We don't want to start it and then not be able to sustain it.
Okay. And I want to get into a little bit here whether or not you believe you're meeting the needs of the people here with your resources, or if you doubled or tripled. And we'll do that in the next segment.
Okay.
So we'll take a break right here, and we'll be right back.